यहाँ वहाँ इधर उधर फिरते रहे अपनी मंजिल से दूर, जहाँ जहाँ नजर पड़े कलियां दिखे खिलने से है मजबूर। एक पल में कई सदियां हैं, जिंदगी में कई खुशियां हैं, इन खुशियों को फिर ढूंढने।
In the last couple of months of 2010, I had the opportunity to meet the Chief Minister of Punjab, Shahbaz Sharif, and talk to him about his education strategy. I was able to explain to him that his education reform up until that point was not setting him on the path to meet the Millennium Development Goal for 2015, nor indeed was there any evidence that at the ordinary school level children were getting a good education. Many children were not in school, many of the children who were in school weren't learning very much, and many of the teachers who were meant to be in school weren't turning up on the average day. He was, I think, fairly shocked by the report. What we agreed at that meeting was what has become known as the Punjab Education Reform Roadmap, which is a strategy for improving the quality of primary education especially, but secondary education as well.
Whole lot of skeptics, they said, Chief Minister, this is a waste of time. But today, they are the most ardent supporter of this program.
From thereafter, every month he and I would meet with the top officials from the Punjab education system and check that the roadmap was being implemented. Because in Pakistan, like in many other countries, getting the policy right is only a small part of the challenge, even though it's difficult. The biggest part is making sure it happens in every school across the system. The roadmap had 5 elements. The first was data and targets. We set targets for the province to achieve by 2013 on teacher presence, student attendance, fixing buildings, getting textbooks and teacher guides into the school system, those kinds of things. Very basic but important elements of getting a school system to work. We built a data collection system which meant that every month from every school in Punjab we got data on each of those key indicators. That was absolutely vital. The second part of the roadmap was about district administration, how the 36 districts were managed. At that time, many of the people leading the districts from an education point of view were political appointees, weren't there because of their merit. That we implemented, the Chief Minister decided to do this, a merit committee that made all decisions about who should lead those districts purely on merit, on the basis of a track record, not on the basis of politics. The third was about teacher quality. One of the mistakes you see all around the developing world is a big focus on enrolment, but no focus on improving teaching quality alongside that. And the result of that is you get what we've seen in many Indian states over the last few years, which is a big rise in enrolment and a big drop in quality in parallel. We wanted to avoid that error. So right from the beginning, we had a focus on improving teacher quality. At the beginning, that was to do with producing very simple, basic lesson plans for each lesson, each day, for English, maths and science. So for grades 1 to 5, every teacher had a lesson plan for every day in the core subjects. And they were trained before the roadmap began how to use them. That's 200,000 people being trained to use lesson plans. And the fourth strand was about public-private partnerships. What you see in Punjab, which is not unusual in the developing world, is that about 30 or 40% of the children around the province are actually not in the government schools at all. They're in low-cost, very low-cost private schools. The question the roadmap asks is not how do we just improve the government sector, but how do we get every child in Punjab a good education regardless of whether they're in the public or the private sector. And so this fourth strand of the roadmap used the Punjab Education Foundation, which is autonomous from government but gets some Punjab government money and some donor money to develop a variety of different public-private partnerships. And then the fifth strand of the roadmap was a set of supporting programs. Fixing the facilities of schools would be one example of a supporting program. Another absolutely vital would be improving the quality of enrolment drives so that they really are effective in getting more children into school. The result of the delivery approach has been that we've made measurable progress on a whole series of important indicators. So enrolment improved by 1.5 million. teacher attendance went from around 80% on any given day to 92%. The number of buildings that had basic water, toilets, boundary wall, electricity went from around 80% to over 90%. What really drove the change over the 2 years wasn't just getting the elements of the roadmap right at the beginning, it was building a process to drive delivery. First of all, the Education Department in Punjab built a team of officials, highly competent officials, who oversaw this. The second routine or process that we put in place that became very important was the stock take. So every month in the first year, and since then every 2 months, the Chief Minister and I meet for a stock take in Lahore. We look at whether the roadmap actions agreed at the previous stock take have been taken. If they've not been taken or they haven't worked, we do something about it.
This is the future of this province and of this country. So please take it out from them, from its purview straight away, and have this decided by tomorrow.
And that routine stock take with really effective data and all the decision makers in the room has completely changed the capacity to drive implementation. The combination of the stock take and the data is solve implementation problems in real time. Try something, if that doesn't work, the next stock take you refine it and do something even better. So it's a learning process.
It is the follow-up, it is the monitoring, check and balance, and of course, patting those who have done a great job and sacking those who've been found deadwood. This kind of intervention has been, I think, given to us by Sir Michael Steele. That's been really a remarkable achievement.
So what are the next steps for the roadmap? Well, there are 3 or 4 things that are now part of the agenda, and there are key elements applicable here. One is a further drive on teacher quality. It's one thing to give teachers lesson plans, as we've done, and to train them to use the lesson plans. It's another thing to get continuous improvement month after month in classrooms. What we're trying to do there is have 4,000 skilled teachers taken out of the classroom and becoming teacher coaches and visiting teachers in their classroom and setting them monthly objectives to improve their teaching. The second is we want to get better still at enrolment drives. Although we've enrolled another 1.5 million children over the last 2 years, there are still many children not in school in Punjab. And then last but not least, we intend to expand the voucher program that is targeted specifically to poor families whose children aren't in school. So the combination of the focus on teacher quality, the new quality of enrolment drives, the vouchers, and this general thrust to more ambitious targets should be that we'll build on the basis of the last 2 years to something dramatically further improved 2 years from now. The people who get the credit for the change there are the Chief Minister, who had the courage to take this on and to drive it through and to stick with it, whatever, the team of officials, and above all, of course, the teachers across Punjab, who are the people on the front line doing the work that matters so much to the future of that province. Over the next 3 to 5 years, the ambition is to get as close to being like Malaysia by 2018 as we can. We're going to work away at this so that every child in Punjab gets the education he or she deserves.
In our primary education and reform system, we have made quantum jumps. It is such an important thing for any society to equip itself with knowledge and education, and more so Pakistan, which is unfortunately facing the challenges of terrorism, militancy, religious bigotry, poverty, unemployment. Education is the tool. Education has to empower our youthful students, and through this we will meet the challenge of terrorism. We will kill the menace of and the monster of militancy and poverty and unemployment. And I'm sure through education we'll be able to achieve our targets.
इन खुशियों को फिर ढूंढने चल पड़ा इन खुशियों को ढूंढने चल पड़ा बिखरी कलियों को ढूंढने